right. I haven't shot a video in a little while, and I've been seeing some great ones, so it kind of enthused me to get cracking.
You're an enthusiast.
Not Topo Chico today. This is La Croix Pure Water. Gotta get my bubbles somewhere. I've never shared these on this channel. I think in the middle of winter, maybe, I showed a little trip to Frankincense before a vacation we were having down to San Diego and then over to Vegas for a couple of nights each. And I picked up some trades. If you ever see this one, get it. It's hysterical. Man versus Rock. It's basically humanity going up against just boulders. Just complacent, everyday, stationary rocks. It's very funny. I got this one for, well, these were all marked at $5, but the guy was really great. I think I wound up getting about 8 trades for around 20. So I want to say these are about $2.50 each. Got Scalped Volume 1. And he was, the man I bought these from was really telling me this was when Jason Aaron was putting out good stuff. I'm a Josh Howard fan, so I picked up. I actually read this in San Diego, Black Harvest. It's extraterrestrials and small town characters. I liked it.
Make a phone home! Phone home!
Could have used maybe a laugh here and there, but it was fine. So sometimes I don't have books to show, so I sort of went digging, and I realized, oh, I have this whole long box of comics I really haven't broken out from the last Comic-Con Revolution. So I'm just gonna go through some of these kind of quickly. Actually, I'll just begin with this Robin. This is from the ongoing series. This is what I thought was a newsstand edition, but it's actually a direct. It's just not this issue one, which was $1 more, and it had embossed and a little bit of foil up in the logo. I love this era of Robin, and I enjoy reading them. They're just stories that are right at my speed. It's issue 2. Three. I remember maybe 3 years back, 3 or 4, JP was collecting Samantha Brown books. And I didn't know at the time that Samantha Brown, who became Batgirl at one point, and then later the new Robin, she started off as the spoiler.
Carol Brown just took a bus.
I shared this one in my 5 keys tag. Really good Robin story from issue 5. Almost through with the Robins. Issue 6 with the Huntress.
Do you know who I am?
You fucking bitch.
It's Huntress.
And here is a really cool Sam Keith on the 1992 annual, holding Anarchy from a Small Bridge.
A funny name, but he was very proud cause no one else's was the same.
This one's cool. This is where he's basically just a future bot. This is from the DC Comics issue 1 million line. Robin issue 1 million. In those old style Canadian backer boards. as Comic Crypt of Castle Hills will hit you too. A lot of times when you buy books from the Canucks, they come in pulpy, brown cardboard.
Say the law is to milk the cows now. It's time to milk the cows.
Backer boards. So these were a nice treat. I just grabbed just a bunch of Punisher books. I was trying to fill out that long box, and there was some cool stuff in here. A lot of them are actually a lot better than they even look at a glance. This is the Punisher issue 30, and you wouldn't know it to look at the cover, but it's art by Mark Tex.
What the fuck?
So really like well scripted Punisher War Journal era that Mike Baron was writing. It's a Beatty cover. Some of these cool painted covers. This was illustrated by an artist that Davis Comic Finds is fond of, Stephen Butler.
Would you like to swim on a star? Carry movie.
JR on the cover of War Journal 41, not on the interiors
The
though.
moon and stars above me. And what else?
These are in nice condition. They were in, like I said, they were in those old Canuck books, backer boards. But man, they did a nice job of preserving these books for 30 years. There's another one that Tex did the interiors on. It's kind of funny when you get text on the inside of the book and you don't have much.
About a dude who has guns for hands, and the guy has
Same as
guns
this one.
for hands.
From March of 91. It's issue 28. And we're getting pretty close to when Marvel changed their logo. Issue 26 War Journal. Some sharks, scuba diving lessons. This looks a lot like something that would happen to the Eternal Warrior. But here is Frank in the Canopy Jungle weaponless. That's exactly like something that would happen to Gil Yannipada. Jim Lee cover on issue 13. Nice. The interiors are good too, though. Penciled by David Ross and inked by Russ.
And now my Ginsburg smells like
Carl
meringue.
Potts was writing.
She's got.
I feel like it was right around the time he was editor-in-chief as well.
Little chief.
We have that pulpy brown cardstock sort of paper. Is issue 57. I like this purple and blue cover a lot. Final Days.
This is the old days, and the bad days, the all or nothing days. They're back. There's no.
This looks like something that would happen to Vin Diesel or The Rock in like the early 2000s, like The Pacifier or some kind of a tough guy babysitter movie. But maternity ward.
Run! Take the babies! Go to your rooms!
There's another cover that kind of reminds me of Moon Knight 55. That's just me though. I see Moon Knight 55 everywhere. Just the dynamics. It's laid out. Cold Cachet right over the swastika on issue 46. Here's issue 38. I don't know why this puts me a little bit on tilt, but all of these jigsaw puzzle pieces are the exact same shape and size, and that
What would you say?
that tilts me somehow. I don't know why. I wish there was some variation in This is the Punisher Warzone 5. You don't get any better than JRJR being inked by Klaus Johnson. That is cool. There's only 41 books in this Warzone run. I'm not saying I'm going after it, but if I see them in nice shape for around $1 or $2, I might start bringing them home, sharing them here. Hope you don't mind seeing them. That just looks good. Look at that bat. Look at the choices on the inks there. Nice, man. Sorry about the highlights. I got home a little late. I was trying to bring in this apartment kitty we named Simone to have some tuna, but she only really likes to be walking around outside of her main terrain at night, so she wasn't having it. But really cool cat. We like. Okay.
All the authorities,
I know you're more comfortable at dark.
just stand around and
Okay.
boast
If I
how they blackmail the sergeant at arms.
Punisher Warzone issue 3. Did I have a Punisher book with the original logo that I shared? It was a Jim Lee cover. So this was right around when they still had that kind of early mid 80s banner. Not banner, but trade box, whatever you call it. And here's Punisher Warzone 2. Can't fight the light. Okay. Moving along, I just kind of have a box of some stuff. I'm certain I've probably shared some of it, but a lot of it is just more from that, what do you call it? Near Mint Sunday. I don't know why that doesn't really roll off the tongue. Sorry, I need a haircut. Getting a little poofy. So there's just a bunch of Marvel Comics Presents that were in there. Here's 133. I'm actually planning on using. A lot of people might say don't waste these kind of premium products on dollar books, but Marvel Comics Presents were like some of the first comics I remember buying. So I'm gonna bust out some of these clear backer boards. My initial plan was to buy 2 copies of each book and have
They're all gonna laugh
one
at you.
facing one way on a backer board, one facing the other way on a backer board. But that just doesn't seem very economical, so I'm just gonna start using the clear backer boards on these. This is a great 132. Aloha Wolvie. 131. Yeah, these just so remind me of the first time I'd been into a comic shop that was a / comic shop collecting cards store. But when I went to Hanky's in 1992, the bottom floor basement of the Buena Park Mall, Hanky's Comics, that was the first time I was ever into an all-out comic store with comic posters. 130. And these were the books that were on the rack at the time. He was cool. He would just let the back issues pile up. So at any given time, you could find the new issue and maybe 10 books prior. And this is when Marvel was 150. I think they had just switched from 125. Right around that time. 150 is not bad though for like 4 stories. Is that 128? Great art. Wolverine with sky blue eyes. I believe that was the Black Widow at the time. Let's keep going. 126. $125. I got this at Hankey's. This, not this copy, but I specifically bought this book. One of my first walk-arounds at a comic store. I think I also bought the VHS that had the first 2 or 3 episodes of the X-Men Saturday morning cartoon show. 124. Again, I need to probably change some of these backer boards. On these, I think I might probably get a couple more years out of them though. 127. Excuse me, 123. This is Wonder Man, book 102. And it's got an acetate cover. I'm kind of a sucker for those. I like those Wonder Man books that Jeff Johnson was illustrating. And it's telling like Amazing Murphinator that Wonder Man's kind of heating up. Because I'd sent him a Wonder Man book signed by Jeff Johnson a few years ago. And he graciously accepted it, but he was also kind of like, who the hell is Wonder Man? So maybe now that Wonder Man's buzzing, he'll feel a little bit better about that Jeff Johnson signed Wonder Man issue 1. Just always grab this. I think this is just...
You will never get this. La 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 la.
Cover. Catwoman 93. Catwoman 85. Sorry, we're gonna go back into the Marvel Comics Presents. I won't talk about the Hankey's comic shop anymore. That's cool. But is 134. 135. Reminds me a little bit of Tim Sale, not a lot. It's by someone named McNeil. But I see some Tim Sale sensibilities. 137. Kind of doing quantity over quality this time. But I think these are great books. They're also very space consuming, this particular run of Marvel books. 138. This reminds me of kind of Vertigo, DC Vertigo artwork. 139. 140. 141. These are just cool. You know, after Sam Keith left, they probably were trying to figure out who are we going to put on these covers to sell these books like we were.
Not fired.
And, you know, right around the 170s, they stopped even putting them out. Reggie Jones art on issue 156. It's a nice Nick Fury on 157. Cat Comics and I, we love these Marvel Comics Presents, especially
for putting these boxes together for
these older ones. Excuse me, not older. I guess technically they'd be newer in a sense, but higher up numbers later on in the run. 71. Some of these I really want to flip over too. 172. I think this is the first appearance of Lunatic, spelled with a K, created by that cat that did Trencher. I'll tell you in a second. This is like kind of a reimagining of the Lunatic character. It's a pretty cool Silver Surfer.
You have to set an example even in the face of stupidity. Now, everybody that reads comic books knows that Kirby's Silver Surfer is the only true Silver Surfer. Now, am I right or wrong?
You're right, sir.
All right, get out of here.
Yes, sir.
first ludicrous appearance. So, interesting to learn a little bit more about this version of Lunatic. This is a really cool Simon Bisley cover, 173. This little fairy character has something very much to do with what Lunatic's all about. Curious to know the story behind that. Here's 174. I think this is the second to last issue.
I wanted to breathe smoke.
Yeah, better look at that.
Damn!
Some kind of just great Marvel art on some of these later runs of stuff, because we don't see them every day. Like there is Keith Giffen. There is a cover by Jay Lee on a Punisher War Journal book, issue 79. That cover is sick, and you just don't see it every day. It's part of like this countdown, the series coming to a conclusion, and you just don't see them. So I saw these. I just grabbed all the Marvel Comics Presents I could. Issue 148. This Vengeance character had something to do with the Midnight Suns, but anyway. There's more McNeil art on 147. Sorry, this is Marvel heavy. I've kind of like gone back to the basics a little bit. I still enjoy my specialty items, but kind of like enjoying this revival of just the simple pleasures of 1990s Big Two. Oh, here we go. Just talking about enjoying this Robin era. Robin Zero. Yeah, just, I don't know.
What were you thinking? A story?
I think part of it is a little bit of Kickstarter fatigue. Although I did just pledge to sort of a Princess Star Thief May the 4th special.
Yeah, this was just a little 1-week campaign before the launching of issue 4. They got my man Winston Young on art, so I have to back it. See how it does.
I'm all about that. This is awesome. This is very much in the tradition of the Batman the Animated Series title cards.
For Batman the Animated Series that preceded each episode, really distinguished it from the other afternoon cartoons. These orchestrated, painted intros were more of a nod to 1940s cinema and midnight movies, and really captured my imagination.
But this is from The Adventures Continue Season 2, Old Flames. You know what, I really just gotta take this book out. It's a nice cover, I really like it. The way the flashlight's coming at us. There's a lot of just really cool kind of art celebrating Batman the Animated Series, and can't get enough of it. So this is from Vertigo Comics. I didn't know about this book. This is the official comic adaptation of the film from Paramount Pictures and Mandalay Pictures of Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. It's a nice square-bound book. It's kind of like reminds me of like the From Dusk Till Dawn movie companion, and so they credit Kevin Yeager and Andrew Kevin Walker for being the screenwriters, but Stephen T. Siegel adapted it for comics, and you got Kelly Jones, Hensler, and Jason Moore and Kelly Jones inking. So I didn't even know about this book, and I certainly didn't know that Kelly Jones was on it. So this was like right around the time he was doing some of that Batman, vampire, Dracula stories. But this is great. I'm pretty sure there's a comic adapting Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola picture. But honestly, when it comes to Timmy B's serious gothic stuff, Sleepy Hollow is probably my favorite. Sleepy Hollow, maybe Batman Returns on some days. But when it comes to his comedy, that's tough. It's almost got to be either Ed Wood or Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
What you give him all the lines for? He's unintelligible.
Look, Lugosi's dead and Vampiro won't talk. I had to give somebody the dialogue.
So, that is a pretty heavy story. Alright, I'll keep going because I really want to show these. I probably have 2 videos worth of stuff here. But, I finally scored a first Harley. I probably paid up for it. I got it for $40, but it's in really nice shape, and I was just really trying to work with the seller because I knew we could work it out because he was the closest to what I thought I could pay on it, and 40 is just a lot for a modern book, but it is her first ongoing series. And it is kind of a classic. And I finally got one. Let's get through these Harleys relatively quickly. Terry Dodson. I really like the boobs on this cover. I'm just gonna come right out and say I really like the boobs on this cover a lot. Hey, Terry drew them, but Rachel inked them. So those knockers have a feminine touch. This one's great with the babies. Issue 9. There's a statue of Harley with the hyenas. It's just such a sexy cover. If ever there was a cover that is just an ode to Miss Quinzel's, Bonzel's, this is it, man. That's beautiful. It would have been friggin' stupid to buy a slab of this, but man, I just really like it. I really, really like it. So I don't think I've showed 35. And this is the last issue. This is a Scott Morse cover of all people. Indie artist Scott Morse. Cuckoo for Incarceration. I almost said Incarnation, but yeah, Cuckoo for Incarceration. That's the last issue. And just because I've been on kind of a Cassie Kane kick, and shout out to Warlock Comic.
All the stickers that get in, I just put on my boxes.
Yeah, he's almost got the full run, so shout out to him. This is a series that came out right after that ongoing Batgirl, Cassandra Cain So this is Cassie in from September of 08, back in our own series. This is supposedly going to tie up a lot of the loose ends from that big Batgirl run. And go issue 2, issue 3, issue 4. Sorry, yeah, we're going a little bit of overtime here. Issue 5 and issue 6. And then I just found a lot that I thought had a really good price on first Cassandra Cain. I probably hypocritical because I said I don't collect keys, but I like this character so much I wanted her first appearance, and it didn't really have anything to do with anything other than I collect this character. Now I've gotten into her. So let me just take a quick look and see if there's anything else. If you made it this far, you're awesome. Yeah, just a lot of Marvel DC. Not really any of the big honkers comics that I've been collecting mostly for the last 4 years. But hey, there's still some nice honkers on the Harley covers, you know. Honkers galore. Just concealed honkers. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, stay cool.
Thanks, asshole. Then fuck you.
The doctor came in, reeking of gin, proceeded to lie on the table.